Defying Death in Hagerstown, the movie project. The idea for this fiction book happened purely by accident, when I won a diary from eBay, which was penned in 1923, by a young woman from Hagerstown. The 90-year-old diary of 365 pages was fully handwritten by a young woman with only a first name in the diary. I knew there was a story there somewhere, but more importantly, I was drawn into the time, the young woman and the love interest she had throughout the year. By whom were the characters inspired? The characters were inspired loosely on many characters in my life, my community, work, and even by people from Hagerstown over the 7 years of research for the book. I take a certain trait of a person and mix them with many other traits to form one new character. People often say the personality of an author can be found in their writing. Did your novel accurately portray your personality? Yes, I have put some of my own personality into the protagonist. Also, the inspirational messages throughout the novel are from my philosophy on life, love and the hereafter, which I strongly believe in. Because of my 3 self-help books, I was able to interject messages of faith and hope into this book, though the eyes of the 110-year-old, very philosophical Lolita, about whom the story revolves. Was there a specific reason you chose to make the protagonist of this novel a reporter? We needed the reporter to tell the story, but more importantly, we needed a very disillusioned person, someone at the end of their rope, ready to give up on life, on love, and almost turn to the gutter, someone battered so badly by terrible news stories with which he had been bombarded. Did this novel require any research? I was consumed with finding out who and whatever happened to this young woman from Hagerstown. It took 2 years to find out who she was, that she married the love interest from the diary, and when she passed on. It wasn't until I researched this woman fully that I decided to write a suspense novel, based very loosely on a character from Hagerstown. Because I was so touched by the diary and the year 1923, I incorporated a diary in the novel that is used in solving a triple murder mystery, unsolved since 1923. Was this your own internal desire to include a religious aspect in the novel, or was it solely for the purpose of creating Miss Lolita's character? My motivation for the past 40 years has been and still is to touch someone, to encourage them to help themselves. I tried to, through a very philosophical Lolita, to help the reader feel good about themselves, life, and to appreciate all that they have going for themselves in their own life. My first goal in writing was to inspire people the way I was positively inspired at age 21 by attending a speech by the relevant Bob Richards, an Olympic gold medal winner and motivational speaker. That was the turning point of my life. I soon became very successful. His speech motivated me to consume motivational and inspiring books by Agnandino, W. Clement Stone, Napoleon Hill. My goal was to one day motivate and change someone's life the way I was motivated to change my attitude and life forever. That is why I wrote the 3 self-help books. Is this novel different than your others? Because I had been so touched by the diary, the town of Hagerstown, and the friends I made in Hagerstown in the years of research, I feel that this may in fact be the best book I have written thus far. About the novel and movie, Defying Death in Hagerstown. We have a young Washington newspaper reporter, who is rapidly self-destructing, after a bad breakup with his fiancé, who left him for a young doctor. He's drinking, a real mess at work, and ready to be fired. His last chance assignment is to go to Hagerstown, MD, and interview a centenarian Wonder Woman of 110 years old, named Lolita, who resides in a Hagerstown nursing home. All the reporter complains about is that this is an assignment from hell, and this woman is probably senile. We later find out that Lolita is sharp as a tack, and the most philosophical person to come around in many years, someone everyone flocks to for life-changing advice. The reporter also learns that there exists a diary from 1923, a full year's, handwritten out, that gives a real insight to what life was like for the old woman. But he further learns that Lolita, in 1923, lived through a mass murder spree of 3 of her young girlfriends in Hagerstown that still was unsolved. The reporter sees a real story in the murders, and is consumed with investigating and solving this 90-year-old mystery. But someone in Hagerstown is rattled by his nosing around, and bullets fly, and someone is killed. The old diary comes into play again as the reporter tries to stay alive long enough to save his job, solve the mass murders, right a wrong, and fall deeper in love with the beautiful gray-eyed Felicia, the nurse that tends to Lolita.